plot.
No, they found out that episode because, remember, Nikki called, left voicemail, but Jen got no service because Abomination has no Wi-Fi because material things.
Right.
So remember, she doesn't know about it. But that happened this episode because... What were they doing this episode? This wasn't Immortal Man, was it?
No, it was.
It was the Immortal Man.
Yeah, no, they specifically did Immortal Man to show, like the other, like another, like, similar relationship problem going wrong.
Yes, it was the Immortal Man. Because the wife uses intelligentsia.
Yeah.
Also, the Immortal Man is a mutant.
Oh god, not another one.
Yep. 2 mutants actually showed up in that episode then. So the Immortal Man, mutant. So yeah, that's how they found out about intelligentsia, because the wife of the Immortal Man found out that he survived getting hit by a fucking car. But it also begs a different question then. If intelligentsia's main thing is about Jen, why did they target the Immortal Man?
Oh wait, say that again.
Intelligentsia's whole thing is about Jen and the Hulk. Why did they target the Immortal Man?
I don't think it was, because didn't they have to open a separate forum for Jen?
Well, intelligentsia...
Because it's the, like a deeper version, or like a
it's
more
4chan.
dark...
It's 4chan. And if you know anything about 4chan, 4chan has different things.
Like, they have different pages, like...
Yes, and while there's a sub-forum on Jen, intelligentsia's whole thing is supposed to be against her.
Is it supposed to be the whole thing?
Yes, which was what they talked about. But Immortal Man...
No, because they bring up, like, intelligentsia's, like, a website for weird...
the Hateful Man. Actually, never mind, you're right, because
yeah,
you're right, because the first time we do hear of intelligentsia was in Age of Ultron, when Claw talks about it.
Yeah, because it's...
Never mind, you're right.
Yeah, because they have to open a separate page for them to sign in to find out just about Jen.
Yeah, never mind, you're right.
Yeah, no, the website is not just associated with her.
Yeah. So that explains why they went after the Immortal Man. Because I do remember actually reading later on that Ulysses Claw used to be part of intelligentsia. Until, he got killmongered.
Yeah, but,
Which makes sense. A mediocre white dude with a middling SoundCloud rapping career would definitely be on intelligentsia.
Oh, God, I forgot he had a SoundCloud career. Ugh.
Oh, God.
And he definitely had some name with Claw in. Well, Claw, but not in the way it's spelled in his last name.
Yeah. Ulysses Claw is definitely the white guy to say the N-word while rapping.
Moving on.
You know he is!
Yeah.
You know he is!
But I can't say that.
Anyways, episode 7 I thought was really just funny and relaxing, and just a nice ride. And the son took up the mantle, but then realized being a villain sucks, being a hero is better, so they're a hero now.
So, which they even changed his father's backstory, because he's just a rich parent.
He's just a rich trust fund kid, which I will say that probably would happen. In a world where Tony Stark became the first superhero that publicly became known, you would have a bunch of rich trust fund white kids trying to be next Iron Man.
Oh God, imagine people trying to be comparable to Elon Musk, but Elon Musk actually, bettering society.
Daily reminder that Elon Musk already exists in the MCU.
But yeah, people are striving to be Tony Stark, not Elon Musk.
Wait, I do wonder, wait a minute.
His death will be even worse.
That's the real plot of Armor Wars. That's the real plot of Armor Wars, which, by the way, we didn't get to talk about, but Armor Wars is no longer a show.
Even complain about it.
Yeah. So, we have Leapfrog, and he's suing Luke Jacobson because defective product.
Which we later learn, no, he's a dumbass and used jet fuel instead of regular gasoline.
Why would you use...
Remember.
Dumbass trust fund kid, I know.
Yeah.
And the reason why Jen even has to defend him is because his dad is a big prominent guy that the law firm defends, so you gotta defend the kid, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, man, imagine Oh man, imagine the scolding he's gonna get from his dad after hearing that a lawsuit that he was a part of was a complete and utter failure due to his own. Oh wait, I'm assuming that they have normal parental-child relationships.
Well, so have you seen Scent of a Woman?
No.
Damn it. I can't help but draw parallels between between Leapfrog and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in Scent of a Woman.
Because when I hear Scent of a Woman, I feel like it's something an incel would describe.
See, but this came out in the 90s.
Okay.
No, it came out in the 80s.
Alright.
I would recommend
I trust you on that. I'm just... I cringe whenever I hear that. Ugh.
And, well, the reason why this title, Scent of a Woman, is... Well, there's spoilers as to why it's called that. But you will understand once you've watched it.
Okay, as long as the writers are smart enough to know what they're doing and not lean into the fact that it's a cringeworthy incel line.
It wasn't a cringeworthy incel line at the time.
Right.
Anyways, so Leapfrog, dumbass, but he's suing Luke Jacobson, and who comes to defend Luke Jacobson?
Matt Murdock.
Which we knew was a client of Luke Jacobson all the way back in episode 5, Jen. He kind of schools her, but not because Jen isn't a good lawyer, but because his client isn't, fucking dumb.
Meanwhile, in corner B, we have...
Dipshit.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But, we get to see Matt Murdock, and him and Jen are... they're flirty because,
I will
Matt's
say
a
one
whore.
thing. I will say one thing. His character is different, but not a deviation from how he's appeared in Daredevil.
I would actually say it's actually an extension of where he was at the end of season 3.
If anything, I feel like he's gotten a lot more charming since then.
Yeah, because, he's not... he's just charming. Yeah. And it's really good because it works out really well. Him and Jen have a lot of chemistry. And then, then Leapfrog calls and is like, I'm being attacked! Help me! So she goes to, save him, and she ends up fighting Daredevil. And this is a matter of where Daredevil is the more skilled martial artist, but, She-Hulk is just that much stronger than him. So she breaks his eardrums.
That's one way to cripple a Daredevil.
That is that's definitely one way to cripple a blind man. Break his eardrums! He already can't see, might as well make sure he can't hear either!
And that's pretty much what he uses to see, so now he can't even walk anywhere. Because he can't hear where he's going.
To be honest, the fact that he recovered so quickly is the most unrealistic part of the show. In reality, he should have been on the ground screaming for, hours!
Because, those eardrums are sensitive as all hell.
Yeah, but so then she was like, dude, were you pretending to be blind? Which, to be fair, that is a reasonable assumption if that was your reaction to finding out Matt Murdock was Daredevil. You're faking being blind. But no, and so then they go and find out that Leapfrog had actually kidnapped Luke Jacobson because... he wants him to make him a better suit, and so he does not. Then they rescue him, and they just make jokes.
Yep.
We get to see, of course, the iconic duo of Daredevil and Hallway with dark lighting.
Yes.
Immediately interrupted as She-Hulk just breaks the fucking legal advice as he beats the shit out of the goons.
Because, again, his life doesn't suck, and, these are hired goons, not henchmen, so...
Yeah, so they're not and then, they fuck. And, we think everything's gonna go well. We get a Ferris Bueller-esque ending where she's just like, you're still here? Go home. It's over. It's not over! So then Nikki comes over and she does her whole Wolverine thing with the makeup brushes. And then they go to the Female Lawyers Award, which was the most aggressively patronizing thing I have ever seen. But then again, I'm not a woman, so I can only imagine how aggressively patronizing it actually is to experience that.
Yeah, because Oh man, it was so. Oh my god. Because what they did is they're like, oh, you're all women, you're all here. You all get the award. You're all special. You all deserve this award, which is like, wow. That is not how award shows works, and deviating from that definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, but also I imagine many women do experience that in corporate fields.
Oh yeah, you can tell. You can tell someone's writing this from experience, and
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was pretty fucking bad. But you know what's really fucking bad? Not getting patronized by all of your male bosses, having your revenge porn posted to your male bosses, your friends, and your family. But do you want to know what's even worse than that? Getting arrested by the fucking feds afterwards!
oh god, and we know what DODC is capable of.
Yeah, nothing good.
Nothing good.
So, basically, Jen shows up, gets patronized at, about to give a badass speech. Then her revenge porn starts playing, and incels are like, she's a slut! And then the Josh, the asshole, had recorded her and him having sex and stole her blood. And then, yeah, so she gets pissed and she hulks out. And not in the sense that she turns green. No, she gets mad.
Oh yeah.
Which harkens back to something that both Bruce and Emil have told her throughout the show, which is that once you do it once, that's all they'll ever see of you. Because that's how they're both treated. Despite the fact that Blonsky has changed, and the fact they are only remembered for what they did.
Do you think this show is going to lean towards, because like obviously reports are going to come out and everyone in her close circle was there to view it while she was there receiving an award. Do you think the show is going to end with like a general public's understanding that she was in a bad spot, or do you think they're going to go with the angle, oh, she's now viewed as a monster in the public eye, similar to how the Hulk is viewed before Phase 3?
Well, so...
Because they could go both ways and write it intelligently.
They could go both ways, but I have a feeling. Disregarding what I know from the spoilers, because if we went by spoilers, then I don't fucking know where they're going. But if we're going by personally what I think they're going to go that she's a monster, because remember, I believe DODC is supposed to lead to the Sentinel Project. And so, for the Sentinel Project to realistically happen, we need wholesale demonization of superheroes. And Jen is one person that you can definitely throw under there.
Yeah. Because they took the opposite route with Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. Well, no, because Ms. Marvel's not public. All you know is that Ms. Marvel's a kid.
No, I mean, as far as, like, oh, the community around her is super, like, they're like, oh, a Pakistani high schooler is there, and, oh, the feds just came in.
Yeah,
but we need to defend this girl's image.
So there's a character in Marvel that has long been overdue to appear, and that is called the Marvel Civilian. In the comics, Marvel civilians are the most ungrateful, dumb as shit, fucking vile, subhuman people I have ever had the displeasure of reading. These ungrateful fucks do not ever credit the Avengers or the X-Men or the Fantastic Four for shit. They will constantly find any reason to drag down anyone superhuman. They are the most ungrateful fucks on the planet. And I think we're gonna get them introduced soon, which is why I think they're gonna focus on the monster, because while we're gonna have like insulated communities that are fine with their local superhero, you're gonna have the broader sentiment that superpowered beings are bad. Between Spider-Man, because, you know, Spider-Man is still considered the killer of Mysterio. You just don't know it was Peter Parker. But Spider-Man's still not loved. You still got that. You still have, you know, Wanda. You got that. You have the Flag Smashers. You have the Tracksuit Mafia with all the shit that they pulled. Mind you, none of them are superhuman, But
they're-
the fight at Madison Square that's about to get flooded. So goodbye, Nigeria.
Because, like, the Avengers are broken up now because half of them are, or no, like 3/4 of them are dead, retired, off-world, or a mix of all of them.
Yeah. So there's that. And then who knows what's the ramifications of Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm getting at is that superhero problems are becoming more and more commonplace, meaning that the public perception against supers are going to continue, which is going to give rise to the Marvel Civilian, which will then allow for the Sentinel Project, which is my big thing, that's going to be the big consequence at the end of the multiverse saga, is the Sentinel Project. I am very firm in my belief, and for that to come true, I have to believe that the public is going to side against Jen. Not because she's a woman, but because she's She-Hulk.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, you just threw a lot at my head.
Yeah, but you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like that's where they're going to have to go for.
Because
in the end, I feel like Jen is personally going to come to grips that she can both be Jen and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
But she's also going to realize that it's going to be tough the entire way through.
Yeah, because ultimately, we're probably going to see... So, obviously, Episode 8 left off on a cliffhanger of like, oh, is she going to let herself get taken in by DODC? Is she going to try to run away? What's the deal here? What do you think about how we're going to start off Episode 9?
I think she's going to be arrested.
Oh, I feel like it's in her character, too.
Yeah, she's definitely not the type of person that's going to run.
She's not the type of...
Even when she's in her Savage Hulk mode, I feel like her just going to...
Because ultimately, like, even while she's She-Hulk, the most does is, like, just destruction of property.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, while that's huge, it's not, like...
Yeah. Also, we learned the Sokovia Accords have been rescinded.
That is true. Which, thank God, that was some of the worst pieces of legislation I've ever seen in my life.
Yep. But I feel that with it being rescinded, it's all the more reason for the Sentinel Project to go through.
You're stuck on this, aren't you?
People are going to point to the failure of the Sokovia Accords as not far enough. I legitimately think we're going to get the Sentinel Project. I legitimately think that is an undercurrent of why DODC has become such a big player. Because you can't have your stereotypical... Who's the guy that runs the Sentinel Project in the X-Men movies?
It's, Dr. something.
Like, you can't have him just, like, appear out of nowhere and being like, superheroes suck! Fuck them!
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. You need to build it up.
Because in the X-Men universe...
Mutants already exist.
Like, in the Fox movies, he's, like, the presidents bring them in both iterations to, what's it called? To be, like, their advisor on mutant-related issues.
Yeah. See, that's what I think Secret Invasion's gonna do, because we know the presidential motorcade's about to get attacked in Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, because in there, like, it's like, oh, he's been influencing things behind the scenes in government.
Mr. Sinister you're talking about?
No.
Okay, I was like...
No, it's not.
That'd be weird.
No, it's not Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, but anyways, I think it's... I just think all roads lead back to Sentinel.
Yeah, and, if Days of Future Past is anything to go by, they better do it justice, because they handled it really well in that movie.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think all roads lead back to the Sentinel Project, meaning that, by extension, Jen has to come out demonized as She-Hulk. Maybe not as Jen, but She-Hulk for sure needs to come out as demonized.
Which means she's gonna lose her job.
Oh, yeah. You think she was gonna keep her job by the end of this fucking show?
Oh, come on. It's a feminist empowering movie. Or show. It's a
Listen.
feminist empowering show. It's gotta put her in the limelight. Come on, now.
I have 4 words. Nelson, Murdoch, Page, and Walters. That was 5 words, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Come on. Nelson, Murdoch, Page, and Walters. Come on.
Yeah,
Fuck the West Coast.
I mean, she is in LA. It's like one of the worst areas to be in.
Yeah, fuck the West. Come on. Nelson Murdoch, Page, and Walters. I'm telling you. That shit writes itself! Anyways, that's enough. The only other thing in media that I've heard recently is that Dune Part 2 may be coming out early, but it was done by some nerd group that is not very credible, but yeah. Also, Marvel shit got pushed back.
Oh yeah, big thing. Secret Wars got pushed back. Deadpool 3 got pushed back.
Blade
got pushed back.
Blade is also is on indefinite
hiatus
due to losing their current director.
Apparently, there are a lot of bad things going on behind the scenes on Blade. Like, they are very hesitant to show blood and vampires on it, which, like, we already chastised Marvel for this. Blade needs to be R-rated for it to be as successful as the one from early 2000s, or was it the 90s?
It was the late 90s, early 2000s. Wait, we forgot one more thing to talk about in Marvel. Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, Deadpool 3 got announced. Or, not announced, but...
First teaser.
We got our first teaser, and the fact that Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine.
And confirming that his Wolverine is not the same as the one from Logan.
Yeah. Because what I envision this is going to be, it's going to be a, not buddy cop, but it's going to be a road trip movie with them escaping the X Project.
No, I think it's gonna be it's the consequences of Deadpool going back in time to when he shot himself.
Oh, you think so? Oh my god, you're right!
It's gonna be the consequences of when he killed himself back at the end of Deadpool 2. I think it's that.
Wait a minute. Oh god, that takes place in the Patrick Stewart timeline. Oh my god. Ugh.
That's what I think it's gonna be. Zazie Beetz has said that Domino may return, so I don't know how that's gonna work if it's gonna be in the
especially
timeline.
Because that one takes place because Deadpool 2 takes place in the other timeline. Oh god, this is gonna be messy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be funny. Deadpool 1 and 2 are like.
Oh yeah, and they did the lip reading of the trailer.
Oh god.
It's just them saying, and then he did the boom and the boom and I did the like it's literally just them like fucking riffing. So they were just like, thank you, Kevin. So yeah.
I will say, thank you for using "Wake Me Up Before We Go" better than Moon Knight.
Yep. So, yep. But that's our media so far, right?
Yep.
We got nothing else to talk about media-wise, so we should talk about politics.
Whoa, yeah, let's get on with
wait! Our rankings.
Episode 6. It's
6.
5.5 for me. It was still funny, but
I'll give it a 6. Episode 7?
6.
6. Episode 8? 7.
6.5.
I give it a setting because that ending was really powerful, and I legitimately felt disgusted.
Yeah.
Which was exactly how they wanted you to feel. Like, I physically felt disgusted. Like, I was repulsed when they show the revenge porn, because it's legitimately disgusting.
I mean, yeah.
Which was the point, good. Kudos to you. You did it right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so to talk about politics, so, you want to talk about, which crazy person do you want to talk about?
Let's get Kanye out of the way.
Okay, so, in the world of politics, Kanye West is not a voice that you typically hear about. Yeah, he ran for president back in 2020. I still can't believe that fucking happened.
I still can't believe he actually got on legitimate ballots.
Anyways.
Like, people had to type in from government offices, Kanye West.
Yep, yes they did.
Like, he was not just like a write-in candidate.
Yep.
I hope you guys realize this. He was actually someone that people had to type out on ballots that they send out to people and ones that they hold in, like, government buildings for him to be voted.
So, Kanye West. Not someone you think of as a political figure, but he
He has decided to become prominent to his own detriment.
Because, as you know, Kanye West is bipolar, and he doesn't take his meds because he thinks he's a worse artist because of his meds.
Which
the merits of that will never be known.
There have been other artists that have come out and done the same thing.
Does that mean take your normal pills? Fucking hate.
God damn it!
I hate dreams so much.
This is not a dream.
I hate dreams.
Don't bring him up. He just had a whole discourse here. I don't want to talk about him. Anyway.
Oh yeah, because he looks like the most average white man ever.
He looked.
But yes, he's not taking his normal pills. He's not taking his normal pills. And so, what happens when you don't take your normal pills? You blame the Jews.
No. The whole point of this discourse is that the mental illness is
yes,
not what...
no, I'm joking, god damn it! No! Most people with bipolar disorder do not go on anti-Semitic screeds on social media. But Kanye is not most people. Kanye is, stupid. Even when he is not manic, he's still stupid. He says a lot of stupid shit. And so, basically, he posted on Instagram the other day an argument that he got into with P. Diddy. Why were they in an argument? Because he decided that he was going to team up with Candace Owens to wear a White Lives Matter shirt at some fashion event. Why? Because Kanye... Oh, that's TOS. Never mind, that's TOS.
I knew what you were going to say.
That's TOS. I will not say that word.
Yeah, because it's
No.
Yeah, watch yourself, boy.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Don't say that in this context at all. Do not say that in this context. Do not say that at all in this context. Do not. But Kanye West is redacted, and so
that doesn't help your case.
I won't say the word. But I will heavily imply.
Oh yeah, using another word that starts with R. Definitely helping your case, my friend.
Oh, I didn't mean that one.
Oh. No,
not that one! I meant the other one! I meant the C word. Because he's redacted. Kanye West is redacted. And that is why he wears a White Lives Matter shirt with Candace Owens. And so, as you know, when redacted do redacted things, black people don't like it. Because, when they activate the redacted chip inside your brain, you do that. And so he gets in an argument with P. Diddy. P. Diddy is basically like, yo, don't disrespect the shirt. Don't disrespect Black Lives Matter. You know what this means for us. You know what this movement means for us as people in America.
And just to jump on that further, because, obviously Black Lives Matter is, it's an empowering movement, and whenever people use White Lives Matter, it's a defensive move just to spew hatred towards the Black Lives Matter movement.
Exactly. And a big issue with this is that Kanye isn't just a rapper. Kanye, at one point, was considered the greatest rapper of all time. Kanye is one of 5 black billionaires on the planet. It is Oprah Winfrey. It is Dr. Dre. It's Oprah Winfrey, it's Dr. Dre, it's Jay-Z, it's Kanye West, and I believe the last one is it Tyler Perry?
I have no clue.
It might be Tyler Perry. Either way, he's very, very successful for a black man, which is very important for black leadership and representation. So for one of the 5 black billionaires to come out and basically walk all over Black Lives Matter, especially someone that has as much cultural capital as Kanye West, that's massively detrimental. Remember, this man is known for ruining Taylor Swift's first award that she ever won as an 18-year-old. And that has still that event follows Taylor Swift to this day.
I don't know the context of that.
You don't remember when she went up to get an award at the MVAs, and he literally stole the microphone and said, "I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor, but Beyonce is the greatest female singer of all time, and she should get the award instead of you."
That's where that came from?
That was him doing that to an 18-year-old Taylor Swift, winning one of her first awards ever.
Oh my
That
God.
will forever follow Taylor Swift. No matter how successful she is, and trust me, she is successful, that event always follows her, and he did that to her. To say Kanye West has a lot of cultural capital is an understatement. So when he comes out and says things like White Lives Matter, it is crushing to aspects of the black community. It is very crushing. And so P. Diddy tried to talk him out of it. But then, Kanye being Kanye, decided that he wanted to fight P. Diddy. So the two of them start talking, nigga shit. And they're like, square up, nigga, I'll fucking fight you. You know the whole thing. But then Kanye says, I won't let you come out. I will go after you and the Jewish people that sent you. And dear God, Pandora's box opened if there ever was a moment for it. So while P. Diddy completely brushes this off, Kanye posts the DMs on Twitter. Not Twitter, he first posts them on Instagram and he gets banned because, implying that P. Diddy is communicating with Kanye because the Jew sent him is as much as you can get as to him screaming the JQ from the top of a rooftop.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, isn't unsurprising because in a lot of black celebrities, because in black culture, the anti-Semitism runs pretty deep. This is usually rooted back to one Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. If you don't know who Louis Farrakhan is, he is the leader of the Nation of Islam. He is a piece of shit. He is responsible for the assassination of Malcolm X. He formed a alliance with Norman Rockwell. Norman Rockwell, famous for being the founder of the American Neo-Nazi Party, and affectionately called the Black Hitler by the KKK. Louis Farrakhan is a shit stain. He is a horrible person. He has legitimately sent black people back decades in progress because of his rampant anti-Semitism and his frequent alliances with white supremacists and white nationalists, and for his complete and total wholesale advocation for black ethno-states and the destruction of the Jewish people. He's a horrible person, but unfortunately, his rhetoric has a lot of sway with black celebrities. If you don't remember, he went on a podcast where he talked about, among other things, white people are demons, not humans, literal demons created by Satan, incapable of empathy, that the current Jews that exist are not real Jews, they're also demons by Satan because black people are the real Jews and we are the real God's chosen people, and white people kill black people because it's the devil's plan to kill God's chosen people. Now, if you're looking at me like I sound like I'm a fucking schizophrenic, that's because this shit is batshit crazy. Ideology that many people subscribe to, and Kanye, unfortunately, is one of them.
You didn't have yikes.
To say it's an oof with a big side of yikes is an understatement. But if it was just that, things could be fine. But of course, Kanye West has to double down. So he goes on Twitter and he says, and I quote, "I may be sleepy, but I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people." Completely, unambiguously doubling down on the fact that he is an anti-Semite, and he does believe Jews control everything, and that the Jews are trying to stop him. And if this is not him signaling to white nationalists and neo-Nazis, I don't know what the fuck is.
That was... Oh, that was one of the tweets.
Yes, and unfortunately, it goes a bit more deeper than that. So, as you know, Kanye West is divorced from Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Kardashian has since dated Pete Davidson.
I really don't want to speculate on that.
No, we are going to talk about it because it is relevant. Pete Davidson is Jewish.
Dude, that gets pretty nasty.
Pete Davidson is Jewish. And he hates Pete Davidson. So much so that he made his most recent album cover a skinned monkey that looks like Pete Davidson.
That's really why I don't want to talk about it, because it gets really nasty.
But it's important to illustrate this fact. Kanye is not a good person, but his autism, while one part definitely rooted in a cultural ideology that is shared among black celebrities, could also be rooted in the fact that he is a vicious person that has an immense dislike for Pete Davidson, and I wouldn't be surprised if he threw the Jews thing out there to get under Pete's skin. Don't be surprised if you hear him talk about 9/11, because Pete Davidson's father did die during 9/11, and it's a huge sore spot for him.
Yeah, this just gets into really nasty territory. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I am not as educated on this particular topic.
Yes, no. Kanye, the depths of Kanye's insanity and toxicity goes very... Kardashian was his failed political run, where he notably said that Harriet Tubman didn't help free slaves.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's... Ugh, God.
So, yeah, no, so it's all connected. Because he goes on all this stuff, he gets suspended from Twitter, and then... what does he do?
He goes on Tucker Carlson's show immediately and makes him look like even more of a fool.
So I have not seen the Tucker Carlson
but I
interview
have.
because I've been working, but Sovereign has. So Sovereign will now explain to you all of the mental shit he has just said.
Oh, there was actually leaks of things that didn't air.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that. I heard that there were things so bad that Tucker Carlson didn't air it, which... is fucking insane.
So, mind you, this will probably be a huge bastardization of it, because I couldn't fully process it just because of how utterly brain dead it is. But literally in one of the clips that they didn't air, it's like, I would rather have my kids learn about Hanukkah than a Kwanzaa, because there's some financial engineering with that, which... I'm seeing your reaction, and justifiably so. I want to hear what your brain is thinking upon processing that between yours and into your functioning brain.
I do not want us to get banned from Twitch or YouTube. So I will refrain. But off stream, I will tell you my thoughts. But I do wish for this podcast to continue for at least one more year. So, in the essence of this podcast, I will refrain from saying what is currently going through my brain.
Good. At least we're on the right, or at least we're both on the right path here. Because as I'm sure I'm telling from your facial expressions, you're having a brain aneurysm right now. It's that bad.
It's like when Vegeta said, I'm having a brain aneurysm out of sheer stupidity.
Yeah, no, that's the parts that they didn't air.
In the essence of trying to preserve this podcast, we will move on to our next topic. Because any further discussion will lead to the banning of us from YouTube and Twitch.
Perfect. So, I want to save Alex Jones for last. Who is our next topic?
Okay, so if we're not going to talk about Alex Jones, I would like to speak about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Recently, Ukraine has made great strides in taking back territory from Russia.
Yeah,
Russia has tried to come in with some faux democratic, peaceful resolutions, which is basically, please stop kicking our ass, let us keep everything we stole from you, and we promise we won't do it again. Pinky promise, I swear.
Weeks ago, they held, a fake... Or not fake. They held an election pretty much agreed as fake.
They said 97% of people agreed with Russia staying in the Donbass, which, let me tell you something. If 97% of people agree on anything, it's bullshit.
What was that one... I feel like it was something different.
No, sorry, Syria. I meant Syria.
That's the one.
It was Syria.
Yeah, do y'all really believe that 99% of Syrians voted for their president? Do you really think that?
No.
Exactly.
If you genuinely thought that 99% of people voted in Assad, boy, do I have a bridge to sell you.
Speaking of bridges...
Actually, specifically, I have a bridge in Crimea to sell you. If you believe that Assad was voted in with 99% approval rating, boy, is there a bridge in Crimea that is burning right now, and you could be its #1 owner.
Yeah, because we have Ukraine conducted an attack on a Crimean bridge, and considering that it is crucial for Russia for military advances, this is a win for them.
It is a win for them. Now, they're pro-Russian, pro-Putinist. They are trying to spin it as a terrorist attack. By that logic, blowing up Nazi rail lines in Europe was terrorism.
Yeah.
It's not.
It is.
Were there civilian deaths? Unfortunately,
there were
3.
confirmed 3, right?
Unfortunately,
Yes.
3 civilian deaths.
But guess what? Bridges are considered what's the classification?
Acceptable targets.
Acceptable targets. They are an acceptable target because they are important for countries to move military equipment and personnel from one region to another.
Mind you, the system that goes to classifying a bridge as an acceptable target is also the same system that would classify bombing a textile factory. Because technically, a textile factory produces the textiles to go into a military uniform that would then be used by enemy combatants. So while definitely we can use the metric that, yes, a bridge is acceptable, and I believe it is, let us not get too crazy with labeling here. That same ideology leads to the death of other innocents that most definitely shouldn't be killed.
We'll say this. It conforms to both the legal definition and our moral definition of an acceptable target.
Yes.
So, by that metric, we will say that judging by both of those standards, this is an acceptable target.
Exactly. And mind you, it's not that the whole bridge is burning. It's that the main part of the bridge. It's kind of like...
Like, the bridge is still usable.
I don't want to say the name of the bridge that is by us, but if you know the bridge I'm talking about, it's like that.
Yeah, because essentially the bridge is usable, but convince Putin to take a tank out there. That would be really cool.
So basically what would happen is now that the main part of the Crimean Bridge has been destroyed, you have a small strip of land that can still be used for a bridge. Problem, it's slow. The other problem, you put 3 tanks in there and you blow up the first 2, the 3rd tank is stuck in the middle and will never move again.
Yeah, so
which conveniently, that's what Ukraine has been doing to Russian tanks that have made it past that bridge.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we have to discuss the missile strikes that have happened in Ukraine since.
Yes. So as retaliation, appropriate retaliation, I say in heavy quotation marks. The Russian military has decided to send missile strikes into Kyiv, and it has killed many innocent people. I actually saw a video of it, and it is horrifying.
Is it the video that I saw with the one girl actually trying, she had her camera face while she was trying to well, you could clearly see her trying to avoid missiles?
No, it wasn't that one. It was the aftermath.
Okay, no, I saw a video of a girl literally trying to run while missiles were targeting civilian areas.
Yeah, which, if you are a piece of shit, i.e. a Putin defender, you would say this is just acceptable. But if you are a human being with a soul, you could see this for what it is: attacking civilians because you're a piece of shit. Yep. Which Putin is. He's a piece of shit fascist, and he does not actually care about to shove. He would say that Ukrainians are subhuman people, and it is God's mission to conquer them if pushed far enough. Yeah. So, yeah, but unfortunately, it is happening. And while yes, civilian deaths do happen in war, it is still tragic when it happens. Even in the Crimean Bridge situation, it was still tragic that these civilians die. But unlike the Crimean Bridge situation, randomly attacking civilian areas is not acceptable.
Yeah, because
even by acceptable standards, which, as we've already said before, was already questionable to begin with. But seeing as how this doesn't even fall within that standard, that should let you know how exceptionally shitty this is.
Because didn't they target, what did they target? They targeted statues.
They targeted a building.
or no, like places that people congregate.
Yeah, I remember. It's like a downtown building that I remember got hit.
Like a specific one. The name doesn't come to me.
I can't remember the name either.
Like there are specific areas that like have like cultural or like cultural significance, or areas that people are typically in like in mass.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it really sucks. But I will say that Ukraine has been fighting like hell, and
their morale is still very high.
I mean, barring a nuclear strike, they look poised to take back almost all of the territory, including Crimea, including Crimea, which was taken all the way back in 2014.
Oh yeah, if they take back Crimea, that'll be a moral hit for Russia.
Yeah.
Barring Ukrainians fighting the good fight, the real heroes are the Russians breaking their legs to make sure they don't get drafted.
Yeah, that's another thing we should talk about, which is the fact that the Russian people, as we've said since the beginning of our coverage of the war in Ukraine, we have been steadfast in our belief that the Russian people are not to blame. The Russian people are just as much victims as the Ukrainian people are.
Yep, because people don't want to be drafted to this war. People don't want to take other people's territory and to be subjects of the state to take over other people's land.
So, continued victories. Putin and the Russian government have decided they are going to force conscription of, I believe it's men 18 to 65?
Yeah, it's very broad, and they don't really, like, typically you don't draft students, and they are waiving that exception.
Yeah, which, one, shows just how bad the war has been going for Russia, but two, also shows the levels of depravity that the Russian government is willing to go to fight this losing war, literally sacrificing what I can imagine will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of young men to the meat grinder that is the war in Ukraine. And rightfully so, many of these people are trying to avoid conscription, and they have gone to horrific lengths to do so. I saw a video of one guy having his friend jump on his leg from literally the top of a stair, like a staircase, jumping from the top of the staircase to the bottom, his leg, and he can't be conscripted.
That would break both of their legs. Oh my god.
It's horrifying. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And do you want to know what these men are rewarded with? Having countries like Estonia saying, fuck you, because you guys are war refugees, because, you know, we're liberals, and obviously, as liberals, we have to essentialize everyone.
Oh, man. And we said this when corporations left Russia en masse. All you're doing is making their lives worse.
All you're doing is solidifying what Putin has already told them. That they hate you. That the West hates you. And that even if we treat you badly, we will always treat you better than the West does. And when corporations pulled out of Russia, it's
just congratulations, Burger King and McDonald's. The Russian citizens can't eat. Congratulations, banks. Russia is now in an economic downturn.
Remember, at one point, the Russian ruble was worth less than a fucking Robux. Like I said back then, I would have fucking shot myself if my money was worth less than little Timmy's Roblox wallet.
And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to, like, use the Russian economy as, like, a talking point to defend them. I'm saying, like, yo, I'm a human being. I see people who don't want to be a part of this war, and they are suffering for it.
They are suffering, and now we have literal refugees, because that is what the Russian people are. The ones fleeing this war, they are refugees being turned away because of essentialism, because people have decided, well, are at fault, despite the fact that the viewing of the military hierarchy as well as Putin himself. Your average Russian person is not responsible for this war. If you remember, when this war began, there were mass protests being done in the streets of Russia. If you don't recall, many people arrested during those protests have since been imprisoned and then forcibly conscripted into the Russian military. These people don't want to be there. They don't want to fight. So why are you treating them like they do? This is the problem about Russia, which is that the Russian people are bad. No, the Russian government is bad. It's always been that. But now we have people Like the Prime Minister of Estonia basically saying, if you want to stop the war, then you need to stop Putin. Yeah, good fucking luck. The last politician that spoke up against Putin got fucking poisoned and then imprisoned. What the fuck do you think these people are supposed to do? They're victims as much as the people in Ukraine are victims. And the only way their suffering can stop is with the wholesale retreat of the Russian army back to Russian borders.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and end this subject or this segment on a positive note. Over the past 6 months, we made a lot of progress. That way, morale is still high, their numbers are still up, Russian numbers are still down. Slava Ukraini, and
I was also going to branch in really quickly. There were talks of what happens if starts with a B, country.
Belarus?
Yes, if Belarus joined the war, the answer is Belarus would literally get dicked so hard by Ukraine, it makes no difference whether they join or not.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Because typically countries that join in, like, typically they have, like, a big difference. But if you're saying it's so unconsequential... If Belarus tried to join, they would get fucked. It's that bad.
Yes, it is very bad. Belarus would literally get dicked down right alongside fucking Russia.
Like, because... Okay. American exceptionalism coming in, but I'm just gonna do it.
Yes, it's literally because we have literally heads and shoulders the best military equipment known to man and will ever be known to man until we make better weapons.
Oh wait, maybe it's not American exceptionalism. American-centric thinking coming in. Let me just follow me where I'm going.
Yeah.
When I think of like countries joining on wars, I'm thinking like, oh, the French joining the Americans to take on the British. I'm thinking of Americans coming into World War II. Typically, when countries join in on a war, they have huge impact. When the French came in on the Revolutionary War, we dicked over the British.
Yeah.
When the Americans came in on World War II, we literally came in and literally turned the tides of the war.
Yeah, but
if you're saying Belarus has no ability to change the war, not even positively for the Russians, that's kind of shocking.
Yeah, no, Belarus would get absolutely turbo fucked. It would not be a fun time for them. In fact, if Belarus was to enter the war, they would probably suffer as much as Russia does, both militarily and
Economically?
Economically, yeah. They would get absolutely curb stomped.
Yeah, wow.
Like, it would be, to put it bluntly, petite Latina teen, BBC. That is what Ukraine to Belarus would be.
I want to strangle you. I want to strangle you right now.
That's what it would be.
I want to strangle you so bad right now.
So, yep, that's what it would be. Not good. Not good for Belarus. Moving on to our next topic, we have the January 6th committee is returning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And apparently they're only doing one more meeting, so...
Yeah. I have worries about that because the way they first made it sound like it was just a break before they started up a new round of sessions, but now they're saying one. And I hope that's not reflective of Biden's Justice Department easing up on January 6th as a whole, because trying to push something else for the midterms.
Because, I mean, let's be honest here, Merrick Garland has not been an impressive leader of the Justice Department.
He hasn't, but at the same time, part of Merrick Garland's whole thing is that he's taken orders from Biden, obviously. And Biden has made it known that he's not interested in pushing the Jan 6 thing so much. I mean, how often do you hear him talk about Jan 6 in terms of, you know, punitive damages towards the perpetrators? He doesn't talk about it often. So I do fear that the Justice Department and by extension the Biden administration has completely moved off of trying to prosecute people, and they just want the committee to hurry up.
Like, we were expecting season 2 of the committee hearings, and now we're just getting an OVA with maybe a slightly higher budget. I'm like, come on, we wanted more than this.
It may also be because the vice chair of the committee, Liz Cheney, is obviously not going to be within Congress anymore.
That is true.
She did lose, and she was the vice chair, and she was pretty much, her and Kissinger were like the only ones that get partisan appearance, despite the fact that both Kissinger and Cheney have been completely and thoroughly destroyed by the Republicans in their own images.
Yeah, because Kissinger's retiring, right?
That man looks too young to retire.
Because I know the Republicans that voted for the impeachment are either retiring or Liz Cheney.
Yeah. Who, at this point, is hinted that she wants to become a Democrat. Which, I mean, Tulsi for Liz Cheney? Dear God, did I ever think we were going to make this trade? That's a fucking GameStop trade.
Oh, please, we all knew she was coming.
No! I did not have Liz Cheney turning to Democrat on my fucking bingo cards.
Oh no, coming to the Republican Party. We all knew.
Oh, Tulsi, yes, obviously. But if we're getting a trade out of this, Tulsi goes to the Republicans and Liz Cheney goes to the Democrats. That's not what I expected out of my 2022.
I mean, now she can no longer be a fake lefty, so great.
Yeah, I can't believe anyone ever believed that fucking bitch.
It's because she was attractive to them.
Yes, Tulsi Gabbard is an attractive woman, but I'm sorry, but I remember when Hillary Clinton first spoke about Tulsi Gabbard, and I actually agreed with her.
Oh my god, someone actually made Hillary Clinton right? Oh, no wonder she's bad for the left.
I mean, she also called out Jill Stein as well.
I don't remember her.
She called Jill Stein as a Russian op. And then Jill Stein actually was a Russian op.
You know you've made
You know you fucked up when Hillary Rodham Clinton is right about you. Woman that said Bernie Sanders, politician. You know it's bad when she